Hi everyone, Asif here, and first of all, thanks all of you to your amazing response to my first video that I put together, and it always helps when you're seeing reactions and people saying they're implementing the advice that you're giving them because it just motivates me to sort of do more videos. I was going to maybe do one a week, but I'll see if I can accelerate these videos so you've got more of an all-round approach because I suppose many of you don't know where to start with you know improving the traffic on your sites once you've set them up. It's good enough having an idea, right? And not all of my advice revolves around SEO. I've got a lot of commercial and monetization experience of just how to turn your websites into money-making sites. Nothing too, clever or spammy. It's just I've actually successfully managed to create sites that generate an income for me. Um, and it's not always the same approach. It can be different depending on market. But before doing brilliant directories and doing my own marketing, I actually used to work in advertising sales, so in publishing companies. So that my whole experience when it comes to well, basically making an income has been around having platforms and audience and selling online visibility. So that's sort of what I've done as a first job, where was selling, publishing, advertising in niche publications. So that translates well into online once you've figured out online. Anyway, enough of my boring life story. I don't want to, make this the purpose of the video to help you to sleep. But today, what I want to look at is something called competitor insights, because many of you will have sites, right? That you and ideas that you have, and ultimately, the goal is that when people are looking for a solution or looking to find a service or a product, or basically when they're looking for something online, that you want them to find your site. But what we need to understand is what is it that they're finding right now? What is it when they search do they find instead of your site? Because many of you will have new sites that didn't exist before. So you probably have no online visibility right now. So to change that, we need to understand that we really need to try and understand the DNA of the sites that are visible, and we need to understand the factors that come into those sites being very visible online so that we can beat them. Because you have to, the good thing about SEO, it's a bit like having a new house and looking at your next door neighbor's garden and seeing how they have their garden design. You're like, okay, if their garden's designed like that, I can do a better job and create an even more beautiful landscape for my garden because I can see what works for them. And SEO is very similar. You can look at the DNA of what's winning right now and think, well, I can beat that. I can create something better than that. And a lot of you may have started a BD website because you thought, well, this isn't being done well. I could probably do that better. We need to understand how we need to do that so that Google understands why our site's better. And unfortunately, I'm going to be very honest with you, SEO is not an overnight thing. We do work now that's going to benefit us in 6 to 9 months' time. Take that on board because it's very rare. There are some exceptions, but it's extremely rare that you're going to rank your website. You work on it today and it'll rank tomorrow. If that's what your expectation is, I cannot help you. Now, there are the exceptions, and the exceptions is if you're, for example, a trade association, or if you're a massive brand, then that can accelerate your SEO quite quickly. You can get your SEO, you can see results on SEO within 1 or 2 months if you are a trade association or a brand. And the reason that that is the case is because Google trusts trade associations because they're linked to everything within that trade. So it's quite quick, so it can quickly figure out they're an authority. And if you're a massive brand, then what Google sees is lots of people looking for that brand. So it trusts that website content a lot easier. And Google's had to sort of use or give advantages to certain business types because everyone's trying to sort of game the system. So Google has to try and protect itself and make sure that only legitimate sites go to the top. So I did say I was going to look at some example sites. I'm just going back to the comments, and I didn't really go through all the sites, so I thought I'd go through a bit more. This one's a bit tricky, affiliate programs directory. That's a hard one. I'm almost not tempted to analyze that because that's such a competitive market. But you know what? I don't want to chicken out. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at this one. I'm proper throwing myself under the bus here. So this is an affiliates program directory, okay? Now, I'll just do a quick look. This site doesn't really look like it's been adapted from the template, which is never really a good sign for me. Because generally, you've got to look at these brilliant sites as an empty canvas, and then you're gonna, you're going to adapt them to, because there's no one size fits all for every market. It's not like, okay, I want to be in this market and 9 results. If you've only got 9 results on your site, now here's the other thing, everyone. If you're publishing a site and you only have 9 items of data, you've got no chance of ranking for anything. Now, I know that many of you are going to think, well, that's a bit chicken and egg. I need people to pay for me to add their listing. Um, but people aren't going to pay if there aren't any listings because they're going to not see anybody else there. So why should they advertise? Welcome to the classic catch-22. What I would say to you is, if any for any successful online business, you first have to be a useful place to go. Um, in order to you know think about monetizing. But no one's going to part with any money unless you're really you're the critical mass within a niche. So I'm a big supporter of just doing lots of free listings, and people tend to take notice of your site once you've got the traffic, and then you can monetize from there. But if you're going to wait for everyone to pay without you being an authority in your niche, you're going to be waiting a very, very long time. And I'm sorry if that's breaks anyone's expectations, but I'm not here to lie to you. It's just a brutal truth for me. The brutal truth is what's going to make you successful. Okay, so I've not seen anything yet that would make this site rank. This is not going to be a similar video to last time. I'm actually going to talk to you about getting the blueprint of yeah, so this is a very new site, and actually this is a perfect site for me to give advice to. So, how do we understand the blueprint of something? So, look, I use a paid tool called SEMrush because it's really good. A lot of you can get it on a free trial. Um, there are free tools like Uber Suggest, but I don't really use them all the time. I will try testing Uber Suggest in this call. I haven't used. I'm a bit rusty because I'm always in here. Um, but let me sort of talk to you. Okay, so imagine that's an American focused website. Hang on, where is it gone? There we go. Um, Always have your contact information on your website, because if you don't have an address, name, and phone number, Google is not going to trust you at all. And we don't have a name, address, phone number. I'm going to assume this is a. Let's have a look at some of the listings. If any of the listings in the US, I'm going to assume it's the USA. Pittsburgh. Okay, so USA. All right. So keyword. So what I would start off with is this technique I'm talking to you about is to try and understand um, competitive landscape, and then look at what they've done and try and emulate or do something better. So you don't actually have to go to this keyword overview report. You can literally with SEMrush. Okay, let me put. So I'm going to put affiliate. I've definitely spelled that wrong. I'm a little bit dyslexic. Um, I tend to use this right click to get me out of trouble. I suspect it's spelt like that, but let's see what the data says. The default is a USA always. Oh, not in this case. Um, okay, so it looks like it's defaulted to the United Kingdom, because that's where I tend to sort of be, most of my clients are at the moment. Okay, so in affiliate programs, that particular version of the keyword is searched. Weirdly, I must have typed it in wrong, because I'm not seeing the metrics. Normally you'd see that. I can't wait 5 minutes. Let me try it without the S. I would have thought S would be better. Okay, so that's searched 10 times. I'm going to look at the keyword variations. Okay, let's. I guess this would be a good keyword, although the volume. Don't ever get put off by these volume numbers, because these tools are not that accurate. And what I really use these tools for is the data in terms of the search results. Let's have a look at these keyword variations. Well, all I'm looking for is I want to look at an example of that keyword in the search results, and I'm going to sort of talk through the things that I would look at. So it looks like the first one was probably the valid one, but it's quite an expensive tool, this SEMrush, and it's not showing me a 78% keyword difficulty. That's never nice. Okay, so now it's showing me the search results. It was glitching on me before. So So this is why I got a bit my eyebrows raised up a bit when I looked at affiliate programs, because it's a very competitive niche. So I would really start doing a lot of keyword research and not go after the sort of this what the main keyword here. But let's say hypothetically we were going to go after the main keyword. Now, when this is an example of the SERP results, right? Search results, like what you would see in Google. So there's an option here where you can see a live example of those search results. It's usually it says view live SERPs, but for some reason this is really glitching on me today. Because what I'd like to see is an example of that live SERP if I can. Rather than this version, but it's just I think I need to go to a different tab for that. But let's just say these were the search results, right? So when you Googled, you'd see HubSpot first, Adam Froy. Now, what we need to try and understand when we look at these search results is Google does not rank everything in the same way. It will rank things based on um, how much it trusts a website. Now, if it ranks something based on how much it trusts a website, then there's not a lot you can learn from that because, you know, HubSpot, many of you would have heard for, is one of the largest marketing tools out there. So Google will trust that website a lot. So all they need to do when you have that level of trust is create the content, and most likely, if it's relevant, you'll rank. Okay, really easy SEO. And that's what I was saying. Big brands or associations will always find it easy to do SEO because all they need to do is align their SEO. They just need to create the content in a way Google will understand it, they'll rank. But they don't have to work that hard at it. Now, what's interesting, this Adam Froy looks like a blog. So something like this is ranking because of the content. Now, we can learn something from that because we can look at the DNA of that content and try and beat it. Um, Now, if we look at some of these others, a lot of these are either huge sites like Amazon, um, but generally there isn't any sites here that are ranking because someone wrote good content. They're ranking because of a combination of trust and content. Now, for many of you, you're not going to build a big brand. It takes years and years and a lot of money to build a big brand. So the only way that you would rank, first of all, is if you're going to target something like affiliate programs, you're entering a really, really competitive environment. And yeah, realistically, at a starting point, you might want to be ranking for keyword variations because there's just no reason why Google would trust your site as a source of where to send people. And it needs to be a combination of trust and content. Now we can win on content when the competition isn't that high. So something I would typically do is I would look at the DNA of the content, okay? And I would try and understand is what is it that they wrote about that helped that page rank. So I would look at things like, for example, the title of the page, okay? Now what's interesting about the title is obviously a big ranking factor for Google is how many people click your listing in the search results. When I hover over the browser here, and you can't see what I'm doing right now, so let me just raise my view there. Okay, so when I click over here, you might be able to see this at the top. It's giving me a preview of what people would see in the search results, and you can see that. Well, you can't see that here, sadly, but if you was looking in the search results, you would see this preview: 105 best affiliate programs in 2022. Now, high paying for beginners. So this probably went to second position because this person who wrote this title did a combination of making it relevant for SEO, having affiliate programs in the title as a keyword, and I've definitely written it wrong because I can see it's programs with GRMS rather than the way I wrote it. So, but this looks like something that you'd be tempted to click. Now the beauty of that is if Google sees a lot of people clicking for something, it will push it up the ranking. So when you write your meta titles, you do need to write them so that people are tempted to click them. So a lot of you will have titles that are just boring and will just say one word or two words. You've really got zero chance, right? Okay, and then what we've got is a really, really well written piece of copy. You can see straight away it's quite engaging. It's trying to sort of address the subject matter way. So if I did eventually land on this page, I'd probably stay on it. Now, if we actually start looking at the content, there's a lot of ads. The guy's obviously smashed this with ads and videos, obviously because he wants to make money from this content. This is something called, ironically, there is something called affiliate SEO where you'll write expert copy about a topic and then you'll start making money from the clicks. It's huge. It's a big area of SEO, and this person's written this content in a lot of depth. If you can see this here, there's a lot of depth, a lot of completeness. So anyone who was looking to research about this topic, let me get rid of these ads because they're really annoying. And I think Google should really penalize sites that have loads of ads on them. Don't know when they will though. But you can see straight away here, the person who wrote this content really did their research and wrote something really, really in depth. Okay. Um, so what that does, when you write in this much depth, and I'm not saying you've got to write lots of detail about things, but you have to, if you want to appear well in the search results, you have to create a destination, a page, which is going to really answer that question. Now that could end up being something that really isn't that long. It could be a page of the video, but it needs to be long enough for Google to understand from its spiders, from its crawlers, when it reads the content, that it's relevant for a topic. So if you do write more, it can definitely help Google understand, but there's a balance. What you have to write has to be useful, okay? And what Google would have done, it would have analyzed how long people would have stayed on this page, and it will analyze the content, and it will use a really, really clever artificial intelligence to see what sort of words are on this page that makes it relevant. So it looks for other words that it sees commonly on other pages, and are they on this page when covering this particular topic? So from an SEO standpoint, what many of you need to do is you need to go and test those search queries. Look at what's first. I mean, this is really, I've got to say, this is not the most beautiful page to look at, but it's definitely content heavy. And you can see, for example, here, how much content there is. It just goes on forever. And don't be put off by that, because Google, and then they have comments on here, which also, when people start commenting, it shows engagement. But also, what this person's done really in a really clever way is each of those comments are adding to the relevance of the page, because a lot of the questions will be around this particular topic. So you can see from Google's point of view, it has a really large amount of content to look at. You've got a really good meta title that people will want to click, and then you've got really in-depth answer to a really important question. So this isn't a big authority website, and it ranks number 2. Okay, so if we look at the HubSpot answer, I mean, it's pointless. Don't look at branded results, because they don't have to make as much effort to rank. And you can see you can still see that they've written it in an SEO friendly way. It's very, very, very detailed. So if I was the affiliate website, what I would do is I would look at keyword variations, because frankly, you might work until in the grave, and then just the day before you pop your clogs, you might rank on page 1. It's just not worth it. So what I would look at is, for example, I would create a specific page for each type of affiliate program and a category for it. So, for example, financial services affiliate, um, affiliate, a lot of these are calling out specific affiliate programs as well, like for 123 Reg. But I would break it into sort of different types, so travel affiliate programs, because let's say, for example, if I look at travel affiliate, forgive my spelling abilities, and I wonder if it's written like that in the US. I do wonder, or anywhere actually. I can't spell for toffee. So yeah, here we can see, if I put the test result here, so let's go into that keyword there, travel affiliate programs, has 720 searches in the US. So I'd go by specifics. Now you can see the first result is a blogger who's written something about best travel affiliates. Then we've got Authority Hacker, which writes a lot of content, but you can see a lot of this is informational content. It means that no big brands have gone after this. Mainly, we can see that everyone's written content about it. Now, if I was the publisher of that site, the affiliate program site I was looking at, is I bet none of these actually have them all listed. They probably have 10. So the way that I could hack myself into the search results is I could do the most complete, I could just list every travel affiliate program out there. So looking at the search results, it doesn't look like anyone's done a complete list of affiliate programs. It's all the obvious ones, right? I mean, if you look at it, it's all the obvious ones. Well, what if somebody actually, if this affiliate program website that I just looked at listed everyone out there, because that would actually make it a more useful result than any of these. Um, a lot of these are very informational. Can you see? So that this again would be very, very difficult to rank for, but it's always about the best. It's not necessarily listing every single one out there. Um, so you can see, for example, okay, they got 232 on this. Someone's already thought of this, but yeah, I mean, I think the brilliant platform could offer a more friendly version of this. And I mean, there might be 1,000 out there. Maybe it'd be a lot of work. But I am looking at a really difficult niche there. So don't be put off. I mean, if you're going to pick a niche like, injury lawyers or that sort of thing, then you've got to do something disruptive to break them. So even though this particular niche has been smashed to death, no one's actually put the effort in to put every affiliate program in there. So maybe there may be a way of in a clever way to get all that data of every single affiliate program out there on one site. And that site could potentially be a monster because it doesn't look like anyone's actually. A lot of people have done informational content about maybe these 10 or even this. I mean, this company here's put 236, right? And they called it a day. And that's clearly how they broke into the ranks. Um, what's Get Lasso? I don't even know what that is. Okay, so these guys actually offer a product solution to track. It looks like affiliate programs. So it's in their interest to sort of list a bunch of them. But that it you've got to be realistic. You just can't set up a website and think, right, I'll just switch it on and I'm going to get all this traffic. You have to do something better than what's already winning out there. So my main takeaways from today's call, and I'm sorry if it's been a little bit all over the place. I tend to record these without any editing. I just go straight into them, but hoping that the insights are really useful for you. What you need to do is do your keyword research. Look at something like Uber Suggest. I'll do a quick Uber Suggest, test. Okay, hopefully it's not going to ask me for loads of money after you've used it a bit. So if I put in, I can't type for toffee. I mean, this is a tough niche. It's a very, very tough niche. And this is a free tool that I'm showing you right now because I didn't want you to just think about SEMrush. And what's really cool about this tool is it'll actually show you the search results. Yeah, it will show you search results in a similar way. So these are some keyword ideas it's thrown at me. What I want to do is I want to see the search results. So just trying to remember how I can get that. Yeah, you're using free version, you're using 2 out of 3 free. So you can do 2 or 3 daily updates. And I think if you sign in, you get a few more. Um, let's have a quick look here. I'm just looking for the actual. Let me just click that one and see if I click the actual keyword idea it's given me. Right, and click search results. So I click search results and nothing's happened there. This is why I don't like free tools. Hang on, I think they're coming underneath. It's just taking its time. I'll zoom out a bit as well. I think my laptop's a bit far in, but here you can see the search results, and then you look at the search results, and you look at what sites are winning. Okay, so we can see, for example, here. So this is a free tool here. It starts showing you the search results, right? And then when you look at the existing search results, you can think about so you don't have to do the same. So that example I just gave you a minute ago, I can see that everyone's done expert content to death. So if you just do another piece of expert content, you are sort of not offering anything new. Even if your expert content's written better, you're not offering anything new. And I think it's going to be hard to break the mold because once Google likes something and you've got a set of search results that Google likes, it's really hard to break in. And that's why many of you might have tried this and failed. Um, but you just got to think, what is it that the searcher wants? Because what the searcher wants is what Google wants. And some searchers just might want a site that has all the data of all the things they're looking for. And Brilliant Directories is a really good platform to hold that data. So what I would do is I would try and win on a data result, so a category page with all the travel affiliate programs, maybe with maybe 1,000 results. Um, and I think that would have a chance of maybe getting to the first page. We'd have to do some work on link building a little bit, but authority building it somewhat. Um, but that would then give you a shot. And then I'd think about all the different types of affiliate programs and just create a category for each, and then have a category slug and optimize static page result for each one. I hope I'm not talking too much jargon, but what I'm basically saying is if I wanted to rank for travel affiliate programs, what I would need to do is create, instead of an expert content piece, I'd actually create a landing page which has all these travel affiliate programs and just so many of them listed, because it doesn't look like anyone did that or made the effort to do that. And then from that point of view, I'll do the SEO work. And if Google starts throwing my page around and people come to that page and they sort of see what they're looking for, they're actually looking for good quality data on each individual affiliate program rather than an expert how-to piece. I might start, beating everything that's on there. But essentially, that is SEO. It is looking over the garden fence and saying, how can I do that better? Sometimes you might want to rethink your garden, you know, because if everyone's doing the same thing, you're going to find it hard to break in. Now, this might be a bit demoralizing for a lot of you because you think, oh God, I've got to do all this work, right? I've got to, pull all this data. I'm just presenting one potential solve for the affiliate program niche because I'm trying to think of a way of how that could be accomplished for that market. But to be honest with you, many of you will have sites that are in niches that are not that competitive, and writing a good expert content piece may be good enough. And you may find that when you look in the search results, what might be encouraging and what might be the reason why a lot of you decided to do your particular websites is there aren't any good search results and you're not finding relevant search results. And if you're seeing that, that's good news. Then you've got to think, well, what does the searcher want here? What is the best performing website in the search results doing? How can I do that better? I hope that makes sense. I do feel like I've jumped around on points a bit. Um, but you always can PM me if you want more information. But this is I would say the second thing you need to think about. On the first call, I really went over about having a page for each search result and having a relevant page for each search result, and to build your site around that so the searcher can find something and Google will match a page to it for that particular search keyword. Here I'm talking about as well, really what we need to do is we need to create a really good result and we need to analyze what Google favors right now to then create something superior. And if anything from my call is a main takeaway, that's the main takeaway. With your brilliant directory website, can you create a page which is a better result and accomplishes what the user wants better than what's currently there? And are we analyzing what's currently there and thinking about how we can beat it? So the bit of homework I would give all of you is, once you've mapped out your keywords and you think you understand the keywords that your potential visitors are searching, test them out on Google and see what's winning right now. Now remember, if two keywords have the same search intent, basically if you've got something like two keywords but the outcome they're looking for is the same, that's only one page. Don't create two separate pages for that. Or think about having two separate pages for that. Um, you need a page for each individual intent, because Google understands now where two words want to accomplish the same thing. And if you create two pages, what's going to happen is both of them will compete for one intent on the same website, and you don't want that. Just a little side point. But the main takeaway from today is, um, write down the keywords that you think your visitors are going to use to find the solution your website offers, and then look at what's winning in those search results. Um, and then start thinking about how you can beat that. Oh, when you do these searches, make sure you're using incognito in Google, because once you start doing a few searches, Google starts modifying the results based on what you searched before. So if you want a clean search, click these three dots and click new incognito window and search with that. Quite a long video today. Um, I will make sure future ones are shorter because I imagine you guys don't want to be watching long videos, and I hope it was useful. And I will be covering uh, more about how you can build your authority for your website and the best way to do that. Thank you for taking the time to watch this if you did watch all of it. Thank you.